early. Sometimes it's good to be early. But our show starts at a specific time. You should remember that. Let's get started then, shall we?
Dillon, I don't give a what you think about a co-host and freshen up my show.
It might not be flashy, but sometimes you just got to toss another person to make a statement.
My show's about the people's podcast. Everyone has a voice. I don't need a co-host. Go listen to one of the other 5,000 shows with a co-host because they don't have a mouth like the big guy.
Opie, are you a career killer with Tim Sabian, yourself, and many others?
Be myself. Never had real issues with those people. They just understood that I was a different bird. The rest of them, though, I'm like, oh, shut up. I'm paying your salary because the ratings are so good, so shut up.
Right.
Live from
Somewhere.
it's
Dillon.
Good whatever to you. Whenever you are watching this episode of Co-Host Auditions, I am your co-host, Dillon. This is my self-taped audition to be part of a show that's already making money. But we're actually making money over here. We've got memberships open and we've got super chats open. Or you could just sit back and enjoy the show because the goal monster has not overtaken me yet. I have not gotten to that begging phase, which so many people who have gotten bitten by the goal have gotten to. Today's host is Michelle Mana. She is going after a lot of the TikTok fakers, and we're checking out one of the TikTok Tourette's fakers. No, not Balin Dupree. This is Ticks and Roses that Michelle Mana is going to expose today. We'll see if she exposes herself. That joke stunk so much, we almost already need Duke Phillips because there's just uncalled for to make a nudie joke like that. So, without further ado, without any more swings and misses of attempted jokes, let's check out Michelle Mana. And she does have a little bit of a warning here. Read if you'd like. If not, on to the host.
Imagine scrolling through TikTok and you find someone who has Tourette syndrome. They record their daily challenges. I mean, everyday tasks like making food or brushing your teeth can be a difficult experience.
So here we see why we don't know of Ticks and Roses as much as we know of Balin Dupree, because she isn't all young and perky-titted like Balin Dupree. Kind of looks like that that DID system from Who Are These Socials? Solar. Oh, my third mic is piping up. Yes, Doggy. Would you like to get in? Maybe Doggy has the Tourette syndrome, and we just haven't noticed because they're barks.
Some for the stove. It's too hot. Add the drugs.
Why would you hold the cutting board directly above the pan you are cooking from on the hot oven? You're just setting up these circumstances so you're the Wile E. Coyote of ticks.
They also sell merch saying, hello, I have Tourette syndrome, tick princess. I'm a witch with ticks. I'm not possessed. I just have ticks.
Okay, there you go. Now you can start luring me in with your weird hairdo. And it's surprising what a little eyeshadow will do to make me go from to
They even have a yarn dyeing business. I mean, it's great to see a
But there, right next to Michelle Mana, she does have a style that A. Smith and I are very much into, with a choker, jet black hair, and those glasses. We are a fan of what you got going with your look there, much more than Ticks and Roses.
creator with daily struggles succeed with their own business. I'm all for supporting small businesses, and I mean, they also educate people about Tourette syndrome. Meet Emerald. They began having symptoms of Tourette syndrome when they were 6 or 7 years old, which makes sense because symptoms typically start between ages of 5 to 10. Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder characterized by repetitive involuntary movements and vocalizations called tics, and they can widely vary.
And this has become much more notable in recent years. South Park did an episode where Cartman faked it, and now just throw a rock at TikTok and you will find a bunch of Tourette's fakers.
In severity, they boldly brought their condition into the spotlight.
Puppy's claw is caught in my hair. I can't move right now. Take it away, Michelle.
People don't need to feel as alone. Almost every single video they made featured their tics and brought awareness to the condition. By mid-2021, when Emerald was 27 years old, their TikTok account had amassed over 500,000
Boom.
followers. But despite their success, you know, every content creator is going to get some hate, unfortunately, on the internet. People started saying that their tics seem kind of forced and fake. How was it discovered that they were allegedly faking, leading to the permanent deletion of their account? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up.
Because they weren't hot enough. See Bale and Dupree. If you were hot enough and tell people to put the ranch down and about their little baby wiener. Doggy thinks Alf is a dog toy. It is a human toy. It is a puppet. It is not for chewing on. It's for dancing. You can't really move his mouth, but you son of a bitch. You bit Alf's apron.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and let's delve into what really happened.
Oh, she has a cold open, and now on to the opening credits.
It all starts with Emerald's yarn dyeing business, Stardust Fiber Studios. In 2020, they did a lot of promotional videos for their business on their Facebook account before starting their Ticks and Roses account in 2021. But this is where things start to get a little bit suspicious. I mean, they claim to have Tourette's since they were 6 to 7 years old, and yet in all of these videos, they show zero signs of Tourette's or tics. There is a 1 minute and 50.
It only showed up when it became a monetary plus to have tics. Go figure. And we are indeed in the circle of life with Al, as Sta Chunksta points out. Alf's breath smells like cats, and Alf ate the cat. The dog is eating Alf, Nimrod pointing out.
53-second video in which there were no tics, and people found this a little bit confusing because on their TikTok page they are ticking like every 1 to 10 seconds.
There's a Chip Chipperson joke there about having tics on TikTok.
We are wrapping up with planting all of the little seedlings now. And he's finishing up with the broccoli right now, or cauliflower. I wanted to talk a little bit about wow. I wanted to talk I wanted to talk a little bit about wow.
Okay, so we're going to talk about Owen Wilson. Looking forward to it.
Ow. Never mind.
People started commenting on Emerald's TikTok account and being like, hey, what this? And Emerald actually had a reasonable response. They said they didn't tick all of the time, which, yeah, I mean, that is true for individuals with Tourette syndrome. You can experience fluctuation in the severity of your tics. Sometimes they might happen often, sometimes it might not even be noticeable or at all. It can be because of stress and emotional state. I mean, I have restless leg syndrome, which means that my legs will sometimes involuntarily jerk.
Dougie, she's telling about her real syndrome, not Tourette. You're just asking for attention. You're not going to be the third mic for long if you keep this up.
Emotional state. I mean, I have restless leg syndrome, which means that my legs will sometimes involuntarily jerk while I'm trying to fall asleep, or particularly at night. And, you know, if I'm more stressed, it might happen every night. but sometimes it can go like a half a year without happening. I know RLS is very, very different from Tourette's, but anyways, moving on. Also, if you are like paying attention to something, you might have less tics. Being tired or unwell might exasperate tics. There are so many different reasons. By this time, there was already a Reddit made about them, r/ticks and roses, and they actually uncovered a 54-minute video with no tics. This isn't immediate evidence. Okay, we figured it
Now I want to see a leg cam on Michelle Mana. Let's see them restless legs go.
out there faking, thumbs up, subscribe, goodbye. Because, you know, it's like when you find cockroaches in your kitchen, you find one cockroach, there are bound to be more. People with Tourette syndrome actually began to comment on this. They said a lot of their tics are very related to what is going on. Like if you see a dog, you might have a tic related to a dog, which is possible.
Hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. It's
Here we have Ticks and Roses Dice Clay. The clock struck 2. I dropped my goo and sent her on her way. Yo!
stole his cock. The mouse ran up the clock and stole his cock. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger. He's a hoe.
Usually tics are not context specific, but it does happen sometimes.
I am going to have to check out this lady. She is inspired by Dice Clay. So that's fun that she's putting a little I can't help but say dirty nursery rhymes when I'm just doing this because I wrote it and I'm a stand-up here.
Had cases where I like tick, what the dog doing when I see a dog? However, in every case that tics are triggered by something slightly related to the context, they are repeating. They will happen again and again. They are not going to be completely unique and fit the rhyme scheme of whatever you're reading. It just doesn't work like that.
Some individuals with Tourette's may experience echolalia, repeating words or phrases that they heard from others, or echo.
A Tourette's rapper. We have not had that yet. And the last guy pointed it out for good reason. You don't throw bars when you have legit Tourette's. It's only these faker Tourette's here.
Praxia, which is mimicking others' actions. If someone with Tourette's hears a specific word or phrase in conversation, they might involuntarily repeat it as a tic. This might make it seem like the tic is contextual.
Little baby wieners. That's what Balin Dupree does right. She pretends with phrases that she has heard in her regular life. And I wonder if you can trigger your own tics. If her boyfriend does have the little baby wiener, and that's where it came from, and she created that herself.
Actually relevant, but it is less common than other tics such as motor tics, you know, shrugging your shoulders or blinking. People with Tourette's began talking about how it seemed like there was almost a comedic timing for their tics. Some described how it almost felt as though Emerald was poking fun at tics, which is kind of a red flag that people with Tourette's started to call them out, because it's like, you know, not only do you have it, but you also have education.
If Artie Lang had Tourette's, it would be perfect comedic timing, just like when he nodded off.
Experience with it. They said it kind of seems like a mockery and that they're laughing about how bizarre their tics are.
Send me to Canada. Eat the burrito. No. One for you. Pew, 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 pew. Mine.
No, we're not going pew pew. We're going bang bang. We're not shooting lasers. We have... Oh, YouTube doesn't like that word, does it? Talking about artillery in our pretend play. Pew pew pow pow. Bang bang.
Mine. Okay. This is not Tourette syndrome. I don't know what this is. This is like messed up. Even the most extreme cases of Tourette's will not present this way.
All right, ticking together. We have got an expert here. Thank you for bringing in an expert on this video essay, Michelle Mana.
I feel upset now. Like, I feel visibly shaken. After watching these clips, there is no validity. This is complete
Visibly shaken, not stirred.
bullying on their part to the actual Tourette syndrome community. It's so offensive. It is so rude.
Not only that, but people found their Pinterest account. They are pinning symptoms of Tourette's, types of tics. Which, okay, I see you, Emerald. You are trying to educate yourself on your own syndrome. People started to uncover their past personas. I mean, they claim to have practiced divination since they were...
Is there a fursona with tics?
6 years old. They claim to be a certified life coach. However, these were later allegedly disproved, and this only makes you think, like, why?
The allegedly running across the screen there, it helps give the idea that heavy on the alleged.
Why would you lie about this? What else are you lying about? I mean, they claim to be a poet in 2020 just before they started their TikTok account, and yet when they were reading this poetry, they didn't tick once.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, if not a little too.
But Michelle Mana did say something in the favor of Ticks and Roses here. When you're reciting something, when the guy I knew would do Simpsons quotes back and forth for hours, the ticks stopped. So you've kind of already given her a defense earlier in this video essay of why she didn't tick out during this.
I'm terrified, to be honest with you. I want to swallow all of you and replace my...
Oh, and that wasn't even one of her ticks. That sounds like a tick of that we would know. I want to swallow all of you.
My blood with yours. I am someone lost in the desert who sees you.
Oh, she likes to give the guy his Red Wings, eh? Sounds like you're also giving him a bloody pekka on your way to becoming blood siblings through fucking. Then you're fucking your blood sibling.
You and doesn't give a shit about water anymore. You are the living embodiment of satisfaction itself.
I could be off here, but I feel like the average person might be a little bit nervous when giving a performance, but they didn't even tick once. But you know what? I digress. Basically, Redditors believed that they tailored their persona to fit into whatever niche they were doing at the time. It just gets a little bit more sus as we go down the line. They were posting on their yarn dyeing business and on their TikTok on the same day, and oh, look at that. They are only ticking on their TikTok. And once this discrepancy was noticed, they deleted the Stardust.
Fascinating. Their ticks only show up on their Tourette's account. All their other accounts that aren't Tourette's related do not show ticks. All right. Nice investigative reporting here.
Fiber Studios videos off their Facebook, which is like, okay, maybe they were re-recording the ones for Facebook, or maybe on TikTok they were only filming, like they would film over and over until they had a tick.
The way that Michelle has different colored nails actually reminds me of Coke nails, which would be different. A Coke nail would be the one long nail rather than the one black nail painted. But shows you where my mind is.
I would argue that is exploiting them, but at the same time, it's like, you want to educate people, but then again, they are selling products directly related to Tourette syndrome. So in that case, are they taking advantage of it? In one video, they claimed that they do not have coprolalia, which is when you utter obscene or socially unacceptable.
Is that where you have the ability to cope properly? Because we need to get Aaron Imholt some of that coping disease. He is not coping properly.
Acceptable phrases with your tics.
Some people do cuss with Tourette. I am a part of the group that does not.
A small percent of people with Tourette's have this, but then later on they actually do have it.
The mouse ran up the clock and stole his...
Also, just my opinion, but it almost seems like they're
going into a beatboxing type of rap rhyming there.
Trying to think of their tics.
Okay, maybe it could be a fake gimmick, but that is a winner there of a beatboxing Tourette's rapper.
Before they're happening, when they recover from a tic, they have time to, put the headset back on their head or whatnot, and they're not as disturbed by it. Like when they're cooking, they might have a tic where they're
get down with the sickness already. You are not disturbed by it.
Going like this with the bowl and almost spill it, but they don't spill it.
Oh boy, that one was a shittier one than my first swing and a miss. We have got 2 swings and misses of attempted jokes so far.
People with Tourette's generally, your tic is completely disconnected from you. You will tic and then you might continue on with your conversation. I mean, it can, confuse you, make you lose your train of thought, be distracting. They also seem to laugh a lot after their tics, which is like, okay, maybe because of the unexpected nature of your symptoms, but tics are not planned or thought out. It tends to happen spontaneously and is disconnected from your thoughts. But by this time, the haters were in full force, you guys. They were getting a lot of comments on their TikTok saying that they have Munchausen by internet, which is basically when you fake or exaggerate an illness specifically online. They made an effort to dispel this. I mean, what better way than to show your diagnostic paperwork?
So I know you've all probably seen the
All right. Are you going to go Boogie 2988 on us and just scream for a while about the paperwork instead of showing us the paperwork? And yeah, you are back to a pass. There is one of those videos which you had the eyeshadow on that would have been a smash, but for the most part, Ticks and Roses is a pass, while Michelle Mana is a smash.
chaos happening on my channel. So I wanted to show a little bit of my last outpatient consultation. Make sure you guys can see that. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me.
Of course, fibromyalgia. Every single hypochondriac has fibromyalgia. It's really hard to prove you have it, but you are just in pain. It is a hypochondriac's dream, fibromyalgia. Tourette's, number one. Petite mal seizures. Oh, at least the seizures are petite and not the grand type of mals. Huntington's disease, testing 39. Repeat. Vagal, PTSD, OCD. Yeah, they felt the need to put PTSD twice, almost right next to each other. Depression. I thought that said enema for a while. Anemia, ADHD, autism spectrum, migraines. Can I get one of these from Virginia Mason? I would really like my autism and bipolar 2 to be confirmed or denied, because I have been rambling on about probably having that for long enough.
But this attempt actually just ended up giving Redditors more evidence. So I intern at the major hospital near my house, and I found some things a bit off. They used acronyms ADHD instead of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, PTSD instead of post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD is listed twice. Paperwork goes through at least 2 doctors, so a mistake like that would be found and corrected by the time it got to the patient. Autism spectrum.
I'm going to need to have the drop from Deep Space Nine. It's a fake.
Rather than putting autism spectrum disorder, you must be thorough and say the full name of disorders/diseases. OCD in and of itself is an anxiety disorder. So you wouldn't put OCD with anxiety disorder because it is one. If you
Michelle Mana sure knows a lot about these diagnoses. Could we see your diagnoses? I think she's been upfront and honest about what she's got, but I forget the video in which she talked
had another
about it.
anxiety disorder, you'd list it. There is no such thing as anxiety disorder. You know, you might have panic disorder, you might have generalized anxiety disorder, but not just anxiety. Same with depression. I mean, is it persistent depressive disorder? Is it major depressive disorder? In the history of present illness, they said that Emerald was a very pleasant 27-year-old left-handed lady.
Ned Flanders' dream.
They might describe how the patient behaved or what
Would left-handed be that far up in the description?
made them pleasant, but
We need to document that this isn't one of the proper right-handed human beings. This is a lefty.
you don't need to compliment the patient in your notes. Maybe they were compliant with treatment, but they wouldn't just,
They're very pleasant.
while other people came to their defense. I review medical records as part of my job.
I am indeed one of those random fucks who got a hold, actually the DSM-4, because that's when I took psychology. Actually, was it the 3? But anyways, I'm behind the times on being an amateur psychologist and getting my hand on the DSM-5. The 4 is the last one I got my hands on.
I have seen this language, very pleasant kid, in records if the doctor is older or from a different culture. I've also seen a lot of doctors use acronyms and outdated terms in records before. But still, others were pointing out things like, why is it important to know that they are left-handed? I mean, left-handedness can be linked to brain function and lateralization. Understanding the link between brain
And sinister. Lefties are sinister. I learned that from The Simpsons.
hemispheres and ticks
Bart was the left twin.
might be something of interest. Doctors do
Hugo always was the good child. Bart always was the evil child.
Do have a stigma that they can be careless with their writing. And it's like, why would Emerald be dense enough to make their own fake diagnosis paper and not even look over it and look up basic things like types of anxiety disorders? It sounds sloppy enough to the point where it might be real. Maybe they went into the doctor and faked tics and did get a genuine diagnosis. But diagnosing Tourette syndrome involves a thorough evaluation from a psychiatrist or neurologist. It includes detailed
Fish heads, fish heads. I do hope that Ticks and Roses gets the proper amount of fish heads. Judging by the size of her, she's getting more than the head of the fish.
Interviews, behavioral observations, and sometimes standardized assessments. So this long-term observation might make it difficult to convincingly fake the disorder. So, okay, maybe they just...
Michelle Mana, in doing this video essay, is trying to disprove and call as much attention to the inconsistencies as possible. We are about halfway through this, so I do believe we are just at the beginnings of the tearing down. Do you have a second one? I think it might just be this Ticks and Roses.
Wrote the whole thing themselves, whether it was in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, or just Photoshop. This was actually starting to seem more likely. I mean, people pointed out how they actually use a different, more updated logo now, but the logo they were using was one of the very first results when Googling the hospital they went to, Virginia Mason. Redditors pointed out how in almost all of their paperwork, there is a tiny TM at the top right corner.
You know what Michelle Mana needs? She needs a Pepe Sylvia board. We had that from Nikki Carrion, and that really took her investigative reporting to the next level, was her Pepe Sylvia board. I wonder if she has that on her Amazon wish list. I would like to add a Pepe Sylvia board to you when you do these analyses.
But the letter Emerald showed had no TM. But if you go on Google and look up the logo, look at that. There is no TM. Redditors also said biggest red flag and possibly the
transcendental meditation that could help her and her tics, which are definitely real.
Smoking gun, visit date 4/21/21. This is a consultation form given after a first visit. Why are they only seeking treatment now? At that point, people started to jokingly make copies of Emerald's diagnosis paper. They immediately disabled comments and deleted the post a few days later, and I cannot imagine the feeling of being caught right-handed, LOL, in this situation. This kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and my sister
getting caught right-handed. That's a funny one because it said right there that she's left-handed.
Borrowed one of her friend's Barbie dolls, and she just brought it back the next time she played with it, and she didn't even tell her, so it's kind of like stealing and just bringing it back. And so I did the same thing, and as I was walking out the door, their mother noticed. Probably a similar feeling, although theirs included impact on genuine sufferers and stigma, whereas mine was just kind of...
Once again, getting into the video essay of here is my own personal experience of being a shithead. That's why I can tell this is someone being a shithead.
Kind of testing boundaries at a developmental age. But at this point, I mean, there is still not strong enough evidence to completely say, all right, goodbye, fake. Actually, they took a step back. Maybe Redditors were wrong. They found an old video of Emerald claiming to have Huntington's disease.
My name is Emerald, and I have Huntington's disease.
Although they are distinct neurological
I can't think of anything distinct about Huntington, California to make a proper joke here.
Disorders, they do have some similarities, as in involuntary jerking.
It affects all aspects of a person.
I think I have the Huntington's disease. I have involuntary jerking.
Life. It causes
involuntary rope shooting.
Movement disorders, such as involuntary jerking, impaired gait and balance, and difficulty with speech and swallowing. Making the time I have meaning is what matters to me. So yes, I have Huntington's disease, but Huntington's disease doesn't have me.
Sounds like an alcoholic admitting to their problem, saying you have this disease. And we are on a bit of a streak of video essayists. The one from 2 weeks ago is my absolute favorite of this new batch of video essayists. Next week, next week will be filmed. Members only can check it out live this Wednesday night because I will be out of town. It will go live for everyone at the usual Tuesday 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And we'll be live for members with another Michelle McDaniel, who is talking about fat people and poking fun.
Thank you. Redditors found an old fundraiser in 2014 from Emerald in which they stated that their entire family.
You are correct, Mr. Blue Sky. Kurt Angle and Goldberg had pretty thick necks, and she has them running for their money right there. With a neck that thick, Kurt Angle would not have broken it in the 1996 Olympics.
Doesn't have meat. Thank you. Redditors found an old fundraiser in 2014 from Emerald in which they stated that their entire family was affected by it. However, in order to be diagnosed with Tourette's, you have
My entire family is affected by my lying.
to have symptoms that are not related to Huntington's disease. It is possible for a person to have multiple psychiatric.
Yeah, Michelle Mana, very much more serious here. The last 2 weeks, they had more fun with it. But Michelle Mana is taking the stance of being serious in exposing. There's a booby joke here in exposing, but let's just move on.
Or neurological conditions at the same time. After all the feedback about their diagnosis papers, they actually deleted their account. I mean, is this the end of them? It was actually just the end of a chapter.
That transition did make me laugh of that book cover being swiped. Oh, and you're gonna relate to it. Is this the end? Reminding me the end of 1960s Batman.
This the end of them? It was actually just the end of a chapter, and they would create a new account called Stardust Pagan Priori. On this new account, they would stop focusing so much on educating about Tourette's and rather focus on witchcraft. They said, I'm only going to post videos on days that I don't have tics because I was bullied off of the internet.
Test.
I was not playing.
Puppy just unplugged the mic. I do believe our sound quality is back in. Stelio also calling. I think we might as well call in Duke Phillips in our search for the joke.
Where's the joke? Sir, we're on the air. I know we're on the air, but where's the joke?
We've had 2 weeks third week in a row of a video essayist. The first one was having the most fun joking around with it. The second one wasn't as fun, but she was still having fun with it. And yeah, Michelle Mana is taking this just very seriously. I imagine me throwing in my self-taped audition, making dick, tit, and cum jokes won't appeal me to her while she's trying to make this very serious video essay on a faker.
Planning to address this anymore because addressing it has not fixed it. I have not gotten through my tics. I just don't record on days that I have my tics because I was literally bullied off the internet. So I do not do awareness for Tourette's anymore, regardless of the fact that I do have a...
I think you should purple up your eyebrows as well. That hair is just so purple. If you're a Ravens fan, if you're into the Baltimore Ravens, that goes very well of having such a purple with such a black eyebrow there. Otherwise, I think you might want to hit up those eyebrows. I did that myself when I dyed my hair blonde in high school. I went ahead and did the eyebrows too.
A clinical diagnosis.
And of course, I was a cheap fuck and did it myself.
So I'm spending my time on my yarn business and on my religious group, and I just want to live my life, and yeah.
We still didn't have any
Thank you, Sam Bibley. You have a great point for Michelle Mana here. You are the serious one. I could be the one to bring levity to the situation. We could make a fun little team.
Solid evidence that they were faking, right? I mean, not yet until their family actually commented on the Reddit. The Reddit was getting more and more followers.
Hey, I guess you could be a Vikings fan too. I went to Ravens first because I grew up in Baltimore. Once the Ravens came to town, Ravens.
And on May 21st of 2021, their sister actually commented. Jade4101 said, introducing myself and the truth. Hi everyone, I recently found out about everything going on. I wanted to clear up some misconceptions and share my part.
Uh-oh.
Emerald's
Here we go. Some more bullying from the sister.
sister,
Gonna tell everyone what's what and what's for.
and we grew up together. Although we were raised a non-denominational Christian, my mother, who is an amazing woman, and I have always been supportive of Emerald and miss them dearly. We have always accepted them. They cut communication with us. We tried to reach out, but they no longer wish to have contact with us, and we haven't talked in years. I'm just
And no surprise here, the sister does prefer they, them, not she, her.
commenting in hopes of clearing up misinformation. Also, my grandpa does have Huntington's. It's late onset, which means it doesn't show up until later in life. My grandpa is currently suffering
Well, maybe she's going to die in her 20s, in which case it is showing up later in life.
from the side effects and is not doing well. It's very sad. My mother has it too, but is not yet showing symptoms, thankfully, and I have not been tested. Lastly, I do not believe Emerald
I don't know that I have herpes. I could have phrased that joke a bit better.
has Tourette syndrome, and they never showed any symptoms as a child. It's incredibly disrespectful to fake a mental illness for any reason. I'm extending my sincerest apology to everyone their actions have hurt. Although I know it's not my apology to give, I do wish for Emerald's safety.
Because you're not going to get an apology from the fucking faker.
All I ask is respect and privacy for my parents and grandparents. And if you don't believe me, I'm happy to answer any questions you all may have as long as they are not disrespectful. The post got over 6.
Oh, she had to throw in those last few words, as long as they're not disrespectful. There we go. Stelio got to what I was trying to say. I've not tested positive for herpes. One of in fact, the best thing that a doctor has ever told me was it's definitely not herpes.
609 comments, and Jade actually responded to a lot of the comments. Do you know why Emerald might have fabricated all of this? Did they have a tendency to want attention regardless?
Is there any of these commenters that called them she, and does the sister correct them? That's what I want to see.
Of it being good or bad? Jade said, honestly, I am unsure why Emerald would fabricate this. I was kind of in shock when I first heard of
someone who identifies as a they, them, that is just proving to be attention seeking all around. Go figure.
About everything. But yes, they do have a history of fabricating stories or stretching the truth, so to speak. Emerald did get tested and was positive for Huntington's. I'm not sure why they changed it in the document, but I do know they got a professional diagnosis years ago. I hope you don't mind me asking a couple questions. What do you think of them profiting from faking Tourette syndrome? You know, with the shirts and other...
This is really making me laugh. There had to be some commenters saying she. Those are the ones that I want your investigative reporting on, Michelle Mana, and I want the sisters' reaction.
Merch, as well as advertising through their TikTok channel, and profiting in general from Tourette's. I just find it weird how you say that they are mentally ill in some ways, but faking the Tourette's seems so calculated for profit. I mean, what do you think of their motive?
You could have cut this one a little short here. I think there is some wordiness in this comment that you could have just hit with the highlights to show us what you're speaking, and then not highlight the other things to just show it's there, but not tell us the whole comment.
Question, if you don't mind. Emerald said they don't want to have children because of hereditary illnesses, but recently they played the victim by saying that people are threatening them and their children. Can you confirm once and for all, or do they not have
no one has fucked her, so she does not have children.
Jade said, I think it's absolutely disgusting to fake a mental illness for profit and clout. I think what Emerald is doing is unethical and disrespectful, which is why I decided to speak out. I don't know what their motive.
And we don't have anyone from the Dupree family coming forward. They're all in on the grift. You see, what you did wrong here, Emerald, is that you burn the bridge with your family, and they know your medical history to come and do an AMA and say, oh, she's full of shit. You don't have Balin's supportive family behind her who is like, look, I think I got a fun little grift here. I can go and not show my tits on OnlyFans and get a lot of money. Maybe one day I'll have to show my tits, but right now I just say weird words on Patreon and they give me money.
Motives are could be anything. Attention, money, I'm not sure. I do know that they have struggled with mental
Yes, and yes. Attention, yes. Money, yes.
health issues, but not Tourette's. Emerald has no biological children, but I believe their partner has children, so that's probably who they are
Emerald has a partner? Gross.
referring to. Their sister also allegedly dispelled claims that Emerald had, such as, being a life coach or practicing divination since they were 6 years old.
When in that one, I said smash at one of the many videos of Emerald, pass on all the other one. So get me drunk, and that will be a smash. But you've already got your partner who is helping you in your delusions and your grifts, even if your family isn't. Ew.
Emerald made an old post saying, "Hello, my name is Emerald. I am a diviner from the Pacific Northwest. I have been practicing."
Cartman ended up getting Tourette syndrome, Snake. Like he faked it and made this big fundraiser, but then he couldn't stop saying in front of a crowd, "My cousin and I touched wieners," and he started getting upset. Did Cartman that he was actually saying things that he couldn't control.
Practicing multiple divination techniques since I was 6 years old, originally taught by my grandmother and uncle. I have nearly 20 years of experience that I would love to share with you. I will not sugarcoat your message, but give you the truth of what the cards are saying. I am also a fully trained life coach. Their sister Jade replied and said, "My opinion."
Okay, so that is someone else who could be a grifter. There are some that I do believe can. I've gotten into this before of those extra sensory abilities of being able to see spirits and such. But most of them are grifters.
Opinion is
Some of them are both.
that, to my knowledge, neither our grandma or uncle taught them divination techniques. Emerald did take an interest in it later in life, though, but definitely does not have 20 years of experience. Someone also questioned Emerald's claims of being a fully trained life coach, and their sister responded, "I have no idea what they are referring to. Back when we were in communication, Emerald never mentioned anything about life coach training. That was a while ago, so maybe it's..."
Is that like a weekend course at the community college? Life coach training? Life coaching. Both me and Stalio are very baffled at this trained life coach versus just somebody calling themselves a life coach. I believe it's a very thin line of being a trained life coach and being an untrained one.
It's something they have pursued since. I doubt it, though. Someone asked if Emerald genuinely has autism spectrum disorder, and Jade replied, "I do not believe Emerald is on the..."
Oh, I was going to say probably. Look at her, but the sister is like, nah, probably not.
spectrum, although any recent diagnosis I would not know about. I can confirm that they do have PTSD. That part is true. They don't have seizures, but they would often faint a lot when they were younger if their heart rate got too high. Although I suppose it's possible that was an act as well. I'm not sure though. Someone also asked if Emerald's partner might have been the one encouraging this faking behavior, and
Do we have any video of this partner? I'm curious. With they, them, such as Emerald Boom here, if this is a male or a female partner. I'm going lady.
Jade replied, "I've thought about this a lot. I've actually met Emerald's partner back when we were still talking. I think it's entirely..."
Doing such California language here. Them, they, partner.
Entirely possible they could have played a role in it. I believe that their partner is being complacent in Emerald's fabrications and even supporting their behavior. Michelle note, I don't know, but this could actually make sense because a lot of the recordings they did, they had someone else recording them, and it almost looked as though they were looking at the person recording them like, oh, did I do a good job faking? I mean, who knows? Maybe they were allegedly faking all of these tics in front of their partner 24/7, but I mean, I don't know about that one. After all this, Emerald actually responded to the post themselves.
I'm going to say it's a coin flip. If the partner is in on the grift, or if she is just a victim and has been beaten down by all of the nonsense that Emerald always throws at her, like she threw that burrito, and just like, okay, all right, I believe you. You've got the Huntingtons. You've got the Tourette's. Okay.
Self. My diagnoses that I have gotten in adulthood, you cannot speak on as we have no contact. And do not blame my partners. You
For some reason, that reminded me of Conan in WCW. Speak on this. Orale.
said that this has been hard for you, and that was never my intent. I started awareness because I never wanted anyone to be as ashamed as I was. This visceral hatred.
So far, Sam Bibley, there is no further confirmation that this is indeed the sister. There has been no response from Ticks and Roses of this is a liar or my sister, this isn't my sister. So, indeed, this could be just somebody.
Has been hard for me. It caused my children's school to be called because someone said lies and they tried to take my children. They are afraid to go to school now. It caused my car to be trashed. It caused me to be spit on in public because
Wait, what? Is this from the sister? I don't really want to go back because we've got another big word salad that Michelle Mana didn't edit down to the major points, just giving us the entire thing. I would imagine, Stalio, if you're going to take a they them pronoun, that you're going to switch to the top and the bottom. You're going to have that special belt, and you are the penetrator, the penetratee.
I wanted to help people. The money I received, I donated. I volunteered with the Tourette Association of America. I did public outreach. I was interviewed for a person's thesis.
I want to say this like Jackie Martling doing a Robin impression. The money I received, I donated. I volunteered with the Tourette Association of America. I did public outreach. I was interviewed for a person's thesis. And another,
I was interviewed for a podcast, but asked them not to air it out of concern for them. The messages.
Oh, we've heard of that happening before, of a podcast interview being trashed, because just imagine what it could do to my family.
I got from people saying that their child wasn't afraid to go to school anymore because of me changed my life. Or a woman saying her husband.
Okay. My biggest critique here, Michelle Mana, are these big old comments. Not every single word is necessary here. And I've seen Charlie, the Moist Critical Penguin Z0. He does things like this. And as I mentioned, you can highlight it and show us the entire comment to see that we are doing a bit of an ellipses, jumping around. Okay, it looks like this comment is almost over. This comment is too long.
And finally saw a neurologist and getting help. I met friends who had the same experiences as me, who made me feel seen. Now I've closed down everything Tourette's related. I've given up. You all win. I'm back where I started, living in shame.
Son of a bitch. We got to the end of what I thought was the end of the thread, but no. But wait, there's more. Oh, I was going for the Queen Robin. Apparently, it came along more of the you have a gambling problem. Homer, you're supposed to be supportive of someone. Remember when I let that homeless guy into the house because he was dressed as Santa Claus? Well, you have a gambling problem.
Shame of being different. Please just leave me alone now. A day later, the Ticks and Roses TikTok account was deleted permanently.
Why me? Why me? Leave me alone.
Leave me alone now. A day later, the Ticks and Roses TikTok account was deleted permanently.
So Ticks and Roses appears to have been exposed, and luckily she did not expose her flesh. That's something we did not want to see. Gambler might have taken her down. One of my favorite Simpsons tattoos I've ever seen was a physical representation, an artistic representation of Gambler.
They did address this on their business page, but, it was a little convenient that there were no ticks. Okay, maybe Emerald does have Tourette's, and their sister just came up with this and fabricated this because they want to have a more distant relationship with their sibling. In their post, I feel like they said so many things that weren't really necessary. It was really...
What a good way to get a little bit of distance in your relationship by publicly shitting on everything that person is. Do you know how many times I have walked around the skeletons in my family's closet to not expose their business? I'll expose my business, and sometimes in doing that, it's like, let me not tell the whole story here, because I'm exposing those skeletons in the closet, which are not all mine.
Really just taking the victim card and a lot of the victim cards in general. In my opinion, their post really lacked accountability.
Son of a bitch. More of this. Okay, too heavy. And when you are writing a college essay, when you do have your thesis, you do have quotes and you attribute them to the people, and then you make a point on them. This is too much quoting. Too much quoting.
Accountability. Saying things like, "You cannot speak on my diagnosis," makes it look like they are trying to shut down valid concerns that others have. They're portraying themselves as a victim of circumstance. They kept talking about how they have suffered, how they were wronged, without acknowledging any potential faults or reason for the backlash. They also make claims about the positive impact they've had, like making a thesis or
right there in this video, Emerald Boom is reminding me of a trans man that I once worked with.
Or a child wasn't afraid to go to school anymore because of them, which is great, but it feels a little like manipulation to gain emotional appeal and sympathy. It's kind of like...
Okay, that's speaking of emotional. What was I going to say?
They've had, like making a thesis, or a child wasn't afraid to go to school.
Emotional manipulation. That eyeshadow is boner manipulation. The only time in which my dick says, not a flat out no. All the other ones are a no.
School anymore because of them, which is great, but it feels a little like manipulation to gain emotional appeal and sympathy. It's kind of like they're trying to distract people from the real issue here. I don't know if there could be any legal trouble to them admitting that they literally don't have it. I mean, wouldn't there be anyway? But I do wonder if it would have been a little better if they would have said, "You know what, I did fake this.
Now I want to see that. I want to see someone with Tourette's put their fucking forehead into the frying pan. That is, I don't think I have any projects which I can put that in. The Steel Toe Lifetime original movie, there is no place for a Tourette's person to stick their head into a frying pan on the oven.
But I do wonder if it would have been a little better if they would have said, "You know what, I did fake this. I might have had reasons."
Nice putting that together, Stalio. It's all the makeup on her and her green hair that's starting to trigger that, clown lady. That's what it is. The green hair in general, that's giving you plus points to be a clown lady just all the time. But most of those, she was not putting on a drop of makeup. So just a little bit of makeup on the face. Yes.
I'm so sorry for all the stigma that I've caused, that so many people with Tourette's are now being fake claimed because of my content. The only issue is Emerald claimed to have symptoms since they were 6 or 7 years old, yet, their sister had never seen symptoms. It doesn't even end there. Their mother actually came forward and posted on the Reddit. You know it's bad when mom is coming to post.
There's a certain, that seemed like a parody of Tourette's, the way she started brushing her hair with the eyelash brush.
I am Emerald's mother. I'm sure many...
I am Emerald's mother.
You won't believe...
I'm sure many of you won't believe me.
Proof, but the truth remains that they are my daughter. The thing that stood out to me about this post is how you are...
How do you feel about that, Emerald Boom, of being called a gendered person, a daughter? Of course, it's the mother. Everyone from the sister to every single commenter that Michelle Mana was going with that preferred pronoun speak of not of ungendered. But mom, no, that's my daughter that plopped out of my vagina, and she has a vagina.
You are happy you pressured to get their family to come forward and clarify. You have no idea how difficult it was for Emerald's sister to speak up. Understand that when you see someone on the internet, you see a piece, a fragment of their life. A broken relationship that we desperately...
A writer writes, always, A. Smith.
want back is now further from our grasp. Emerald could do nothing in my eyes that would make me love them less, but my heart hurts for them. My heart hurts for the very obvious mental illness that I can't seem to help them through. You may be counting it as a win for you guys.
Oh, damn it, you're killing me, Michelle. You give me hope that, okay, that's all there is from the quote, and then it's just doubled. We're only halfway through that quote.
Who are complete strangers, but could be causing pain to others by dragging the family into it. Understand that a person who does fake an illness obviously has a mental illness. They are a human being, and while that doesn't...
She is lying about the illness she doesn't have, but fucking look at her. She's fucking ill.
Excuse their...
She's just presenting the wrong illness to you people.
behavior, they are still sick, just with...
Have mercy on her for her clearly being ill, just presenting the wrong illness to the public.
Something different. Granted, other Reddit pages are worse, but this page too has bordered on a hate page. I asked myself why I would want to say anything to these hateful people who don't even know us. Had you just kept yourselves respectable as truly...
There's one thing, Sam Bibley, that leads me to believe that this isn't Tix and Roses writing this as her mom, and that was calling Tix and Roses her daughter. I think that would be a bridge too far for they, them to be gendered in any type of way. But that is a nice theory. There is a lot supporting that theory that this is Tix and Roses hitting back as her mom, which also mental illness.
Citizens, maybe I would have said something, but felt I didn't owe anything to people with pitchforks.
Oh, and thank you for the super chat. As I was taking down that last chat, Nimrob coming in with a $4.99. I find it hard to believe that somebody with they, them pronouns would have been mentally ill. As we know, those people have done the most self-reflecting without any sort of outside interference. They, thems are the most sound people in the mind that there are in the land. Yeah, we're on the same page there, Nimrob. And thank you for the super chat.
Thanks for the super chat, super chat, super chat.
And torches on a witch hunt after someone who, regardless of it all, is still my child. I saw Reddit pages specific to calling Emerald out.
Oh, God damn it. Seriously? You're giving this, it was only a third. It wasn't even a half. This is my biggest complaint. Said it several times. I need some help editing these.
Out on the Huntington's disease diagnosis. And again, I was horrified with the comments I read, knowing that it is a true diagnosis. One that will kill me.
Horrified.
And eventually kill...
Oh, that sounds like a campy type of ray gun that the villain has to horrify the whole town. Someone taking that Californication. Oh, son of a bitch. I have had the wrong backdrop here this entire time. There's the proper backdrop. This isn't chatting with. This is co-host auditions. Now that we're almost done, noticing, oh, hey, I did not change that over from my last episode with Luigi Greenberg, who chatted with about, that's not how words work. We bullshitted about Howard Stern.
Kill Emerald. Understand this. We have had no contact with Emerald for almost 5 years, and this breaks my heart every single day. Emerald's sister and I have no idea of any new medical conditions that they have been diagnosed with in the past 5 years. We can only speak to the Emerald we knew before that. If you suspect someone faking a disorder in the future, I think it
5 years of going down that crazy vortex
could be handled with much more tact and a lot less hate. I do agree with the majority of what Emerald's mom was saying, but at the same time, at what point is mental illness an excuse? I do have a lot of empathy for Emerald's family because, yes, it was good that they came out and said these things, but also I can imagine that it made their relationship with Emerald a lot harder. At the end of the day,
well, from a non-existent relationship to the same. If the relationship doesn't exist, then it doesn't fucking matter if what you say. And I do like that still shot of you there, Michelle Mana. You have some crazy eyes going there. Don't know if that's just the moment, because if you take certain little screenshots out of context, everyone can have the crazy eyes. But I am a fan of crazy eyes.
Hey, I mean, Emerald's sibling nor their mother could really come up with a reason why Emerald would do this. My personal analysis, I think that people fake disorder for a plethora of reasons. I think the validation...
Plethora, drink. I've made that one of my drink words, because that was my college essay, make myself sound smarter type of words. I stole that from my cousin. Why use a lot when you can use plethora?
And the attention that they were getting can definitely set off a lot of happy hormones. I was watching a YouTube video, I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were saying
happy hormones. We are back to that campy villain making everyone a whore. He's getting those hormones out into the night.
Like, it's awful being a content creator, because a lot of the time your YouTube is like feeding you
boom
these things, and you're like, okay, how do I replicate
Emerald and Emerald? It's a very fine line.
This one video that did really well? How can I be better? You know what I mean? It's always pushing hormones such as
and
dopamine or
Stalio pointing out that it is indeed BAM, but our little corner of the internet, it's now boom, thanks to our good buddy Stuttering John. You know, I'm like, Emerald, boom, boom. Sometimes we have to be reminded of the actual phrases, like Carl Hamburger accidentally dropping chewing the shit when he's heard that fucked up phrase so often that now shooting the shit sometimes degenerates into chewing the shit.
Oxytocin can be released temporarily and you feel euphoric. You can have some of the same hormones that you feel when you were on or in love, and in this way it can be very addictive. Internet fame often comes with a lot of positive reinforcement, like, you know, likes.
Okay, and now we are at the end of the video essay where she is wrapping up her thesis statement, and we are talking about some delicious dishes such as Spurg snake, giving it a blast with the spice weasel. Oh boy, only 1 hour in, and my mouth is starting to malfunction. Can't make a career in porno with that type of mouth malfunction. Placenta, Mr. Blue Sky wants to throw into the pan, and we have heard good things from some weirdos who eat it.
Comments.
Fathers attempting to get closer to the mother and child will eat the placenta. That is a thing.
Shares. This immediate feedback can become highly addictive and rewarding. The validation from a large audience can boost self-esteem and create a strong desire to keep that attention coming. You have a community and a belonging, but also there are monetary rewards. You know, in Emerald's case, maybe they made money off of monetization. I don't know if they were monetized, but they also had this yarn dyeing business. In these cases, we can see, like, with
yarn dyeing business. So you buy these unique colors of yarn from us, and I imagine she refers to herself as us because she's multiple people, and every time you use her pronouns,
like with two souls,
and she would be Emerald would be very upset at me at calling her a she and a her over and over again.
One bod, you know, they were making money before on the internet off of their giantess website. They claim to be hacked, but allegedly just, you know, ran off with them.
I have not heard of the foreskin eaters, A. Smith, but of course that exists too. The placenta eaters, I've seen them. I think they were on the Learning Channel or something, cooking it up on the grill that Emerald was about to throw her forehead into. But the foreskin eaters, I imagine you would want to have a lot of foreskins because it's just a small little snack. You would want to have like a potato chip bag full of them.
The money. It can also offer an escape from real
the Moyles side business.
Life insecurities or
human chips, pecker chips,
or responsibilities. Will we ever be able to see the real reason why Emerald faked it? I don't think so. Some people might not even
attention. She faked it for attention.
even know why themselves. I would love to know you all's thoughts in the comments. It is definitely a sad situation when someone is literally outed by their family. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video.
Outed? Exposed is more like it. The way you're saying outed by their family there, I don't think you're using that in the proper fashion, Miss Mana. So, A. Smith, with a little more info on the foreskins being ground up and put into pills. Not just eaten, but put into pills for their sustenance.
So as always, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on if you're feeling risky, and comment below. Thank you so much. It helps with the algorithm. Also, thank you so much to each and every one of my members for supporting my efforts on this channel. It seriously does mean the world to me. But to everyone, I hope you have a good day, night, whatever the case may be, and peace out.
Giving everyone a good whatever, the way I do on my videos. All right, you are the least fun of our video essayists, which, as pointed out by the beloved chatters, might make me a better fit for you, because the other ones were having fun with it and throwing in some gags, whereas you were so serious. You might need a second mic that will bring the laughs. No, not the yelps, puppy, the laughs. He's getting out of here soon. We're wrapping up now, and we're going to people who aren't faking it over on TikTok after a long video essay of Tourette's faker, Ticks and Roses. Oh boy, that was that was a lot more wordy and a lot less entertaining than I thought. Not to shit on you, Michelle Mana, with your 246,000 views on that in 4 days. Jesus Christ. Only 21,000 subscribers, but holy shit, this one has taken off. This one is a big one for your channel, Miss Mana. And may I have some?
Passenger, truck driver. Passenger, truck driver. I flew out the car window. Woo!
So definitely not faking here. We have Danica Jolene showing us some singing. How did you get in the chair?
Flew out the car window. Woo! My body just stopped working. My body just stopped working.
My body just stopped working. You have got it going on.
I fell out my bedroom window. I fell out my bedroom window. Ah! Drunk driver drove me into a pole.
A few paraplegic, good-looking ladies in here. Two in a row.
Drunk fell out my bedroom window.
You look more college-aged. You have those nice perky boobies, but I do think that I would go smashy more. It looks like a 30-year-old cripple here.
I fell out my bedroom window. I fell out my bedroom window. Ah! Drunk driver drove me into a pole. Drunk driver drove me into a pole.
Oh, I missed that, A. Smith. That Michelle Mana's. Mana T. I see. Took me a second too, A. Smith, asking if they are fat. Mana T's. Okay, I see what you're doing there, Michelle Mana, with your manatee members. My members are called rope shooters, and the rope shooters will get early access to next week's shows this week. Oh, and let's see if I can figure out how to gift some memberships. As a host, channel of the host with memberships, I do have the ability to gift some memberships. Can I figure out how to do that? Membership gifting. You have gift 5 now. All right. There are 5 memberships going out to 5 beloved chatters. Michaela, Brian, Honk, Deadfool, and Spawn. Thanks for hanging out. And you are now able to get the members only content, which are the this week it is early access, able to see next week's episodes live, because I'm not going to be here to see to do them live.
2 miles short of
Now I know how to do that. I know how to gift those 5 memberships. Oh, puppy, Puppy. What did you just... Puppy. Ah, puppy.
Runway plane, 2 miles short of the runway plane.
Shot 3 times.
That's a tragic one. The 2 miles short of a runway plane. So she was just minding her own business and a plane fell on her.
I got in the car with a drunk. I got in the car with a drunk.
Crushed by an 18-wheeler. Hey, crushed by an 18-wheeler. Hey.
Got it from my dad. Thanks. Got it from my dad. Thanks.
So that's something she's just had her entire life. Thanks for those shitty jeans, Dad. A. Smith saying you don't need to buy them new. As Puppy unplugged my mic again, I do believe. Let's go to the audio settings. Yes, we are back. You unplugged that mic twice today, you little shithead. So, come on. Come up here, Puppy. Those were people who definitely were not faking it. And now on to the lady clown of the day. We have seen this lady clown before from Ghostlight Odyssey. We have Nurse Kaboom. Be good if I switch to that tab.
How's your head?
I haven't had any complaints yet.
Excuse me?
Oh, I think I'll live.
You have a fan in Sam Bibley. You are a saboteur, and he enjoys you causing the chaos. Puppies do bring the chaos. And a few more from our good friend, Nurse Kaboom. 3 Asian clowns that we've seen in the last week. It's not just a white folk thing anymore. And actually, if I remember correctly, Ernie Hudson was a clown on an episode of Tales from the Crypt. I haven't gotten there yet, but I have a few seasons to go.
What are they called again?
Annulax batteries.
Harbulary batteries.
That's nothing like what I just said.
I like the style of Nurse Kaboom. How she takes care of the patients, you don't see all the time.
Want a thick cock?
Huh?
What's on TikTok?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
She is really hearing words wrong all the time. We have got a perverted nurse here.
Hey, quick, I need an idea for TikTok. Go fuck yourself. I already tried that. They took it down.
Oh, I didn't realize that was audio from Guardians 2. I saw Guardians 2. Actually, I still haven't seen Guardians 3 or the Christmas special, and I do love me some James Gunn, so I should check those out. And we're getting out of here a little early for what we've been doing lately. Lately, it's been more 90-minute episodes, and here we're at a scant 70 minutes. So, puppy. Let me see if I can go ahead and throw out that other 5 memberships. You have 5 memberships to give this month. Gift 5 now. So, yeah, hopefully I hit any of you beloved chatters. New Girl, Delta Zero, Doopa Doopa Doo, Fearless, and Doofus Diff. Come and check out the bonus content. And yeah, now that I figured out how to do that, it's very easy. So I've got 10 memberships to gift each month. So come October 3rd, I will have another 10 to drop. That was today's episode, and not my favoriteest of video essayers, but maybe the one I have the most to offer to bring some comedy relief to the show. And big thanks to those who were already rope shooters. And to those who just got the rope shooter memberships, you got 1 month free, $4.99. And that $4.99, once I get on Patreon, it'll have the exact same thing. The tier 2 over on Patreon will have things that YouTube does not allow. But I will be back tomorrow for the St. Cloud Moron Show. Have a fun little thumbnail for that one. Orange is the new bag, I put it. is this the end of steel toe analyzation shows for now? We shall see. It looks like Aaron, right at this moment, is sitting in a jail cell in Stearns County. So we'll see. We do have another lolcow that Spurg Snake and I will be covering come November. He sent me the audiobook, so thank you for that gift. And I have not accumulated anything for tomorrow's show yet. The way that shit just happened so fast. Blind Mike was actually getting frustrated with that recently on Who Are These Podcasts. I'm like, I already pulled the content for the show this week. He's doing more stupid shit. So I will be checking out what the Clippers have to offer, and I will bring it to you folks tomorrow for the St. Cloud Moron Show, episode 12. Will there be a 13? What will Aaron do if he goes super boring and doesn't talk about anything? That's a development to cover too. Look at him. He shut up. He finally shut the fuck up. But we will definitely have Stallion 19, Doom, NatClo 2.0, and many others to thank as they give us an update, because I'm not watching those 4 hours myself. I'm not doing that sifting. No. So check out tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, TikTok Around the Clock, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and the next 2 days, 11:30 p.m. Eastern, for a co-host audition and a TikTok Around the Clock. That will be available to everyone next week, but you all get it first by a week, and you can choose to tune in live and be a beloved chatter during those live streams at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday and Thursday. I do reserve the right to make it a midnight show. I'm going to do my best to make it 11:30 p.m. rather than midnight. But yeah, we're looking forward to what the Clippers have to show us. And it's a bunch. There's already a shitload of stuff I can cover on Imholt. Hope you don't go away. You're keeping an entire industry going. Like if Darkside Phil were to go away, the same if Aaron Imholt were to go away. There's many small streamers like I who are getting monetized and getting some super chats and memberships thanks to you. And a second thanks for the super chat from Nimrob. You were talking about bringing me on to watch a movie, Maniac Cop 3. There goes the doggy. Maniac Cop 3. I have not seen 1 or 2, but I saw Maniac Cop 3 playing in the background of a dive bar I was in years ago. And I'm going to push for that one of coming to join Nimrob and Cut of the Jib in watching a movie. And yeah, unfortunately cannot do those type of things over here on YouTube with the watch alongs. So A. Smith is familiar with Maniac Cop. It's a Robert Zadar classic. Thick. Sounds like I'm talking about a thick penis there. Anyways, sounds like I'm about out of jokes because I didn't have a very jovial person to work with. Was Zadar in Darkman? I remember the Darkman series, Die Darkman, Die, with the Lawnmower Man, Jeff, what was his name? Fahey. Oh, but Puppy says, hey, buddy, stop wrapping up. Just wrap up and let me out of here. Thank you all for joining. Next 2 days, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, as well as 11:30 p.m. Eastern for members to check out the episodes that will be airing next week to everybody. I'm doing it. We're going. Thank you all for joining. Now feel free to go away.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for going on this adventure with me. It's fun being with friends. I'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye for now.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day.
Places all. All join hands, circle left. Now circle right and listen to me. LSMFT. Elementary corners like swinging on a gate. To right to your honey with the right to left date. Grand right and left around you go. Lucky strike means fine tobacco. Meet your honey and give her a whirl. All swing around with the little girls. Smoke 'em, then you'll see. LSMFT. Promenade and don't you fall. Promenade around the hall. Lucky strike is first again with tobacco men. Promenade straight down the pike. It's time right now for a lucky strike. Yes, for smoking that you're bound to like, you just can't beat a lucky strike.